Let's get started. Start with listening, and then learn new words and practice them in sentences.
Have you ever struggled to discuss your travel plans in English? Well, worry no more. Today, we're diving into the world of travel, but not just any travel. We're focusing on how to express your travel plans in English. Picture this. You're about to embark on a thrilling journey, but you're finding it challenging to share your excitement with friends, family, or colleagues because of language barriers. Or perhaps you're in a business setting, planning a work trip overseas, and you need to communicate your plans clearly and effectively. You see, being able to discuss your travel plans in English is not just about social conversations. It's also crucial for professional settings. And that's exactly what we're going to help you with today. We'll walk you through how to describe your destination, book your flights and accommodations, and discuss your itinerary in English. By the end of this video, you will be able to confidently describe your travel plans in English. Firstly, it's crucial to be able to discuss your travel destination. Being able to clearly express your travel plans makes for a more engaging conversation, and it also allows you to seek advice or recommendations from others. Let's dive in and learn about how to talk about your travel destination in English. One of the most straightforward ways to talk about your destination is to use the phrase, "I'm planning to go to." For example, "I'm planning to go to Paris." This phrase is perfect when you want to share the place you've decided to visit in the future. Next, we have the phrase, "I will visit." This phrase is similar to the previous one, but it's often used when you are certain about your travel plans. For instance, "I will visit Italy next summer." It clearly indicates your intent to visit a place in a specific time frame. Another useful phrase is, "I'm traveling to." This phrase is very versatile because it can be used in various contexts, like when you're talking about a work trip or a vacation. For example, "I'm traveling to New York for work," or "I'm traveling to Bali for a vacation." Now let's look at how to use these phrases in a conversation. Imagine you're talking to a friend about your summer plans. You could say, "I'm planning to go to Greece this summer." If your friend asks for more details, you could respond with, "I will visit Athens and then head to the islands." If you're discussing a work trip, you might say, "I'm traveling to London for a conference next month." In addition to these phrases, it's also good to mention the reason for your visit. You could say, "I'm going to Paris to study art," or "I'm traveling to Australia for a wildlife photography workshop." This gives the listener a better context and makes your conversation even more interesting. Remember, practice is key when learning a new language, so try using these phrases in your daily conversations, or even practice them out loud when you're alone. Now, you can confidently tell others about your travel destination in English. Once you've decided on your destination, the next step is booking your flights and accommodation. This can be an exciting part of your travel planning as it brings your trip one step closer to reality. Let's start with how to talk about booking your flight. A common phrase you might use is, "I need to book a flight." This phrase is straightforward, expressing your intention to reserve a seat on a plane. For instance, if you're planning a trip to London, you might say, "I need to book a flight to London." You could also say, "I'm trying to find a flight." This phrase indicates that you're in the process of searching for a suitable flight. You can use this phrase when you're discussing your travel plans with others, like, "So, I'm trying to find a flight that arrives in the morning." Now, let's move on to booking accommodations. When discussing where you're going to stay, you might say, "I'll stay in a hotel." This phrase is used when you've decided to stay in a hotel during your trip. For example, "I'll stay in a hotel near the city center." Alternatively, if you're looking for a more homely setting, you might say, "I'm looking for a vacation rental." This indicates that you're in the process of searching for a vacation rental, such as a cottage, an apartment, or a villa. You might use this phrase like this, "I'm looking for a vacation rental with a sea view." Sometimes you might want to combine these phrases. For instance, you might say, "I need to book a flight to Rome and I'm looking for a vacation rental in the city center." This sentence efficiently communicates your travel plans. Remember, these phrases are tools to help you express your travel plans. Feel free to adapt them to your needs and use them in a way that best describes your travel plans. Now you have the phrases you need to book your flights and accommodation in English. Now that you've booked your flight and accommodation, it's time to plan your activities. This is where the real fun begins, as you start to imagine all the adventures you're going to have at your destination. When discussing your itinerary, you'll often use phrases like, "I'm going to visit," or "We're planning to." These phrases help to convey your intentions for your travel activities. Let's explore how to use these phrases in various scenarios. Imagine you're visiting Rome for the first time. You might say, I'm going to visit the Colosseum and the Roman Forum. Or perhaps you're planning a relaxing beach vacation in Bali. In this case, you could say, we're planning to relax on the beach and try surfing. Now, let's say you're traveling to New York City for a business trip, but you also want to do some sightseeing. You might tell a colleague, I'm planning to see a Broadway show after our meeting. Or perhaps you're visiting London and you're a huge fan of art. You could say, I'm going to visit the Tate Modern and the National Gallery. Remember, it's not just about landmarks and attractions. You can also use these phrases to talk about experiences or activities. For instance, if you're going to Japan, you might say, I'm planning to experience a traditional tea ceremony. Or if you're visiting Australia, you could say, we're planning to snorkel in the Great Barrier Reef. Don't forget to mention food experiences as well. If you're traveling to France, for example, you might say, I'm going to try escargot and creme brulee. Or if you're headed to Mexico, you could say, we're planning to taste authentic tacos and churros. These phrases are versatile and can be used to discuss a wide range of activities. They provide a clear and concise way to share your travel plans with others, whether you're speaking with friends, family, or colleagues. With these phrases, you can now discuss your travel itinerary in English. You'll be able to paint a vivid picture of your upcoming trip, sparking interest and excitement among those you share your plans with. Happy travels! You've now learned how to discuss your travel plans in English. We began by exploring how to talk about your destination, using phrases such as, I'm planning to go to Paris, or I will visit Italy next summer. Next, we delved into the necessities of booking flights and accommodations. Remember, phrases like, I need to book a flight, I'll stay in a hotel, or I'm looking for a vacation rental will serve you well in these situations. Finally, we discussed how to express your itinerary. Whether you're planning to visit museums, relax on the beach, or take a city tour, you now have the language tools to share those plans. Each of these sections is a stepping stone to becoming more comfortable and confident when talking about your future travels. By mastering these phrases and vocabulary, you're not only improving your English skills, but also paving the way for smoother travel experiences. With these phrases and vocabulary, you are now equipped to confidently discuss your travel plans in English. Safe travels.
Let's learn new words and practice English at level B1. Itinerary. Itinerary, a detailed plan of your trip, including destinations and activities. Example, my itinerary includes visiting museums and exploring the city center. Accommodation. Accommodation, a place where you stay during your trip. Example, we booked our accommodation at a small hotel near the beach. Budget. Budget, a plan for how much money you will spend. Example, I created a budget to manage my expenses during the trip. Sightseeing. Sightseeing, visiting interesting places, especially those famous for their culture or history. Example, we spent the afternoon sightseeing around the old town. Reservation. Reservation, an arrangement to have something, like a hotel room or a table, kept for you. Example, I made a reservation at a popular restaurant for our last night in the city.